Hello there. This is going to be a video about Aries men or Aries masculines. For years, people have asked me to do these types of videos. And so yesterday I did Scorpios. If you are interested in or in love with a Scorpio man, go check out that video. But today we're going to be doing Aries. My baby daddy is an Aries. I'm an Aqua. For some reason, I tend to meet a lot of and attract a lot of and be attracted to a lot of Aries men. It's a joyride. You know, I said in Scorpio's reading, buckle up buttercup, but honey, put on a double seatbelt for Aries. Because they're very spontaneous, right? They could be very fun and adventurous, but they're spontaneous. They like that. They fly by the seat of their pants, right? It'll never be boring. The Aries men that I particularly know that are sort of at like neutral, they're really bored. It's usually the partner they're with, or because they're at a place in their life, their job, they're bored of something in their life. So it causes them to be sort of antsy and restless, right? But when an Aries man is being stimulated correctly, because he's fire, he is, spectacular. They're fire though. And so the Aries man can tend to be impatient. He's very stubborn. If astrology ain't real, tell me, how come every Aries man I've ever met in my life, I argue with them? Also, how come they always got to screenshot something and send it to you to prove themselves that they're right and you're wrong? They have to be right. It's just that that's what they do. They're always handsome too. I've never met an ugly Aries man. I have not met every single Aries man in the world, obviously, but the ones I do know, they always are very handsome. They have like a boyish charm. So something about their face or their features make them almost appear to look younger than they actually are. Remember, Aries is the baby of the zodiac. It's the very first astrological sign. Pisces is the last. They're very passionate, very fucking intense, but they're fire. Imagine like a firecracker. So what can happen is they have burnout because things are just very boom, like that, right? So it's like, woo, but then it dies out, and that can happen in love with them. They can sometimes become too spontaneous. They can sometimes not necessarily fall in love quickly, but have attraction really quickly. They're fire, that's why, right? So it is this stimulation, it's chemistry, it's bodies and all of this stuff. And sometimes that can be, it can get a little bit carried away with that. They're very independent too. I notice a lot of them because they're the bosses, right? They really are. They are the emperor in the tarot deck. So they're the boss, they're the leader. A lot of them make really great entrepreneurs or bosses, but because they're the boss, what they say goes. You know, there's like very little wiggle room for negotiation, and they fucking hate liars. Oh my God, they hate liars. They hate liars just as much as they hate losing, and they hate doing both of those things very tremendously. They hate losing. They're very competitive, right? They have to be the best. And if you're in a relationship with one or not, but they like you, they can be jealous. And this is the thing about them too. It's sort of an undercover thing, but if they like you, they take note and remember almost everything. So you can't lie. And it's not even that you're trying to lie. You might just say something like, oh, it was a Tuesday that this happened, and then like later on down the road you may say, oh yeah, well it was a Wednesday, and they'd be all, hold up, wait a fucking minute, you said it was Tuesday. And you're like, did I? Yeah, because they're keeping tabs because they like you, but they also just fucking hate liars. Just hate it. They could be very impatient too. So if you make them wait, it infuriates them. Now, the funny thing about this is, but not really, it is fire. They do love a chase. They love exciting. They love fun. They love spontaneous, adventurous. So you'll find that when they're in a relationship that is not those types of things, they become bored. They become very restless. And then they become very moody. You know, it's just because they're unhappy, but it comes across moody. And they do have a temper, right? They could be very pop-offish. But the thing I notice about fire sign men is that they explode and then that's it. They're over it. It's not like a lingering sort of smoldering, holding on to it for 29,000 years. Not necessarily, but I feel like they always are trying to catch you in something. You know, like I thought you said, you know, they're very like that. Very like that. If they like you, okay, or if they love you and they're falling in love with you, really do feel like the luckiest girl in the world, because they could be very attentive and they're very romantic and they're very sweet. But like I said, if that shit starts getting stagnant, you lose their attention really fucking quickly. They're very lovely, you know what I mean? They really are, but they have a side to them. It's like all 12 signs have something about them that's irritating. The next sign I'll do is Aquarius men. They could, it's just their stubbornness. They're very stubborn. So there's a very little room for negotiation. Like if they say so, it's what it is. You can try and argue with them, but they won't budge. And the thing I've noticed about Aries men is they're very protective. That can come across as controlling. If he's a lower vibration, right, obviously it's going to come across as a very controlling, toxic person in relationship. And it can be. It could be fucking domestic violence, bitch, right? Anybody at a low vibration, especially a really intense, passionate person, it comes across as very, very toxic. There's a lot of passion inside of them. You know, when they love you, you know, you really are. You're like the center of their universe. But if they don't like you, they just don't even really want to fuck with you. Now, if you are in a romantic relationship with them, sex with them gonna be just as explosive. You know what I mean? Because they're ruled by Mars. See my throat chakra? They don't want me to tell you about them. Or you have an Aries man that has to cough something up. You got to come clean, okay? Because that's that throat chakra right now getting clogged the fuck up. Maybe somebody want to unclog it for you or something, honey. I don't know, but that would make sense if this is an Aries man, okay? They like sex. If you are the kind of person that don't like to have spontaneous, adventurous sex all the time, this is probably not the sign for you. Remember, they're Mars. Okay, that's their ruler. It's very, very, very passionate intenseness. If it's like if you can find the perfect match, right? And let's say your match is an Aries, you will be fucking all the time, anywhere, any place, and can't keep your hands off of each other because it's just the chemistry between the two of you. See, they love that. They love the things that make them feel good. They want to do the things that make them feel good, that stimulate them. So if you stimulate them well, I mean, well, we're going to use the Crimson Secrets. We're going to get a few cards for them, okay? Because if you guys are dealing with one, see right there, sexual encounter. I told you. It's my neck, my back, you know, you're going to be in all kind of positions. Obviously, depending on the person, not all of them are like this. But if you're lucky, they are. It's a big deal. If you aren't like, I don't really like to do that, they're not for you. Because they will get bored very quickly, okay? Very fucking quickly. I mean, this is the type of sign, a few of them would be, but this is the kind of sign where like if you're in the car wash and the car is going through the car wash, honey, it's a perfect time for a little something, something. And if you say, oh my God, no, obviously if there's fucking cameras in the bitch, you wouldn't do it. Safe, of course, be safe. They wouldn't want your bare naked ass showing you so anybody else could see it either. But meaning spontaneous, they love that. And I told you, it's a very sexual relationship, just like Scorpio men, because it's Mars energy. And if they like you, they're not necessarily very aggressive. If they're slightly intimidated by you, they wouldn't necessarily be as bold and direct with you, even though they're very bold and direct in life. They might have been very bold and direct in approaching you, asking for your number, initiating conversation, whatever it is. But if they're slightly intimidated by you, where there's the chance they could fucking get rejected, they're a little bit shy. So they may not be the first to initiate physical romantic shit if that's the case. If they don't really fucking like you, they don't give a fuck. Remember, their whole thing is about losing. They don't like to lose. They're the winner. They're the best at everything. They're the smartest. They know everything. That's their energy. The emperor. The emperor speaks, you fucking jump. That's them. The emperor of the tarot deck. The boss, the king, the leader, right? They're great leaders too. If you can find the right Aries man, and he's a great person, a good provider, a protector. I mean, you really win big, because they want to take care. Okay, they have this sort of like feeling of responsibility and duty. So this is why you will find some Aries men find themselves stuck in relationships that aren't good because they feel a sense of duty and honor. But that's a ticking time bomb, because remember, they get bored. And if they're bored, okay, then they feel dead inside because they're fire. Their fire always needs to be fucking lit. So they require a partner who is going to help them kindle that fire, not put it out. They can't live like that, right? If they're very passionate and very whatever, you almost kind of have to like let them be. You got to just sit back and watch the show. Obviously, if it gets too carried away or whatever it is, you gonna step the fuck in. They require that too. They need somebody who's going to be bold with them, not afraid. They can't be with someone who's a pushover or a welcome mat. They need someone very compatible with them, someone who can handle the heat in the kitchen. But also, you got to tell them sometimes, like, that was fucking dumb. You have to be prepared. It ain't going to go very well. But sometimes you got to tell them that was an idiotic fucking idea, or don't do that again. Don't speak to me like that. Don't fucking do that. Depends. Okay. If you find one at a really, really, really low vibration, they could be slightly toxic and abusive. All 12 signs can, but especially someone with fire in their chart. Right? They're very fucking passionate. They're passionate about things. If they like something, they're very passionate about it. If he loves sports, he's going to be very passionate about it. And you got to be okay with that. Again, don't dim their fire. You kindle it. If they're really passionate about something in business, you have to be supportive. Listen, they're the types, you got to let them just do it. If they fail, then they get it. They learn. But their boldness, their courageousness is so contagious too. And that's why I really fucks with Aries men, because they have this sort of a vibe. It's conquering. Like, I can do this. This is nothing. I can handle it. If you need anything fucking handled, and they don't mind doing physical shit too. Don't get me wrong. They could be a little bit lazy sometimes, right? Depending on them. If they're burnt out. If they're burnt out and bored or at a low place in their life, they have zero energy, no fire. So it's not that they're just a lazy fuck. It's that there's no fire inside of them. So they're sluggish and they're not motivated. They don't want to do it. So that's why it's really important for them to always have that passion burning inside. And honey, they got passion inside of them, okay? They're very fun. They really are. But they're very blunt and very direct. So if you are like really thin-skinned, okay? If you're a soft batch, it's not going to go well, because they're very, very honest. Sometimes brutally. But that's the beautiful thing about them. There's no guessing game. If you were to ask him, hey, does this look good on me? He might say no. Not because he's trying to hurt your feelings or be cruel, but because, bitch, it don't look good on you. The fuck you want him to do? Lie to you? I mean, maybe yes, you do, but no, you don't. Nobody wants a liar. They don't like liars. They don't lie. If they lie, it's kind of a big deal. And I say that because that means they're intimidated by the person. Because they don't give a fuck. They'll lie to the goddamn Pope, to the President of the United States. They don't give a shit. They don't care. They're not afraid of anybody. They're fearless. But if they lie, it's usually a reason. It's because they're a little bit vulnerable with that person, or there's something about that, a soft spot there. It's what I find. Forbidden, they do like shit like that. They like the chase. So protection with the safe. Yeah, they do. They like things that they can't have because they want to conquer it. It's very exciting for them. So travel would be a big thing for them too, because, you know, they're fire. They got to keep their feet moving. They like adventure. They like to do adventurous, fun shit. It would be a great partnership if you love that kind of stuff in life. If you are, hey, just spontaneous, you know, hey, this weekend, let's go here. And it's very like, oh my God, they get even more turned on by that because it's like igniting their fire, you know, it's making it grow even more. They do need to, this is important though, okay? They do need that fire stroked. So this is the kind of man that you giving him support is great, but also to let him know, hey, you look handsome, you're amazing. Not overboard because they'll get grossed out by that, but it's like they need a little bit sometimes of that confidence boost. It's like children, right? Because remember, they're the babies of the zodiac. You got to give them positive reinforcement. But yeah, they do like what they can't have. And for some of you, this connection, right? If you are in love with one or you like one's in your life, there may be a sense of forbidden, like you guys aren't romantic. There could be a reason. Maybe someone's in another relationship. Maybe there's something about this connection, even though both of you are single, where maybe it's distance with travel, right? Could be a long distance relationship. They live in another country, or the forbidden could be religion. It could be age. But that's the thing about Aries though. They don't really care about that. They don't really care about what people think in that way. They don't want to lose or look weak. They don't want that. But they don't care about an age gap. You know, they wouldn't care about, well, you're not, and even then too, if you're not their usual type, they're not really the type that would care about that. They like physical beauty. They want a bitch to be cute. Okay, but they want to be able to trust you or don't choke that motherfucking neck. Figuratively, and maybe literally, you know what I mean? This is hot and heavy type of passionate connection. You have spellbound. I'm telling you, you got to watch out because they could be very charming. Okay? You ever looked at fire? It's very magnetic and hypnotizing, and it's sort of dangerous, and it's very, it's, you know, you want to touch it, but you know you're going to get hurt. You want to touch it, but you know you're going to get hurt. It's kind of how they are. You really do have to approach with caution. You really have to be like fearless because you could get hurt. You know, hurt meaning because it could be really, 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 really passionate at first and dies out. So a really good thing is if it's a slow burn. Oh, slow burn with a fire sign? Yes. Fast, quick, impulsive at first is like a big ass firework. It just boom, and then it just dies out. But a slow burn allows that fire to really burn. It allows the fire to grow and to be, you know, a solid foundation. That a slow burn with them, but that would irritate them. Because remember, they're impatient. And also, if they like you, they want to touch you. They want to hold you. They want to kiss you. They want to talk to you. But they don't want you to be clingy. They don't like weakness. So that's why they're very, very, very attracted to very successful people. People who are, could be very confident, right, and outspoken, but then if you with one, you cannot take their shine. Because again, they're the boss, right? Only particular type of people can be with powerful people. I've tried to teach you guys this in 8 fucking years, okay? When you're dealing with a very successful person or someone like this, like a fire, it's not that you just let them have all the shine and the fucking glory, but they don't want you to emasculate them because remember, they're very masculine. So that's why I said positive reinforcement for someone like this is great. Don't lie to them though, because they hate liars and they know when you're lying. Bitch, they wish a motherfucker would, okay, because they'll pop off. I've always felt super safe with a Scorpio man and an Aries man. Because they're protective, and I know that they're the type that they'll beat somebody up if they're fucking with you. Okay, they're very protective. You know, very fucking protective. With spellbound again, they could be really charming. Distance and slow burn is why I travel too. It really is, because I think that sometimes when it's too much, too fast, too quick, it can be a little bit too explosive. So the key here would be to keep it slow. And also the slowness of it, the anticipation of it is going to really eat their ass in a good way. You know, it will. Because it's the chase. They want to conquer. So if you're easy to get, it's not fun for them. It's not that this is a sport. It's just, it's in their fucking DNA. They want to conquer, own. They want to compete and win. And if it's just so easy for them, it's like, there's no big deal. They don't want it. Done. Been there, done that, done. They don't want that. I've noticed as well, they could be really kind-hearted too. You know, if they really like you, they're real kind-hearted. They care about people. They don't want to see animals being hurt. They don't want to see children being abused. You know, with like world life issues, they could be really passionate about that. They're really kind-hearted, so it's like a beautiful part of their sign. They're fire, so they feel a lot of emotions. They're intense about it too, right? So if they feel good, they feel really good. If they feel mad, they're really fucking mad. But I've noticed they're very, very sweet, very kind-hearted. If they do explode, if they do get really mad, they always feel sorry about that. You know, they will try to, you know, sometimes they apologize. They don't always, but they'll let you know in other ways that they are sorry. I don't know. I just keep looking at that spellbound. They're just really cute. They could be very fun and humorous. You know what I mean? Like it's like, it reminds you of being young. Like, remember when you were young and you just met somebody that could be kind of flirty? They're just very fun. Until they're not. And then when they're not, they're not. Sexual encounter, very high libido. And if their libido is low, it's because their fire has died within them. Very high libido. Okay, so like I said, if you don't like to fuck, this is not the sign for you, okay? I don't mean to be so crude, but I'm just like them. I'm blunt. Ain't no beating around the bush because they want to beat that bush. Very, very highly sexual. It's a beautiful energy though. You know what I mean? They have to be sexually compatible with a person too. So because they like adventure, they're going to get bored of someone who's just lying there. They like that passion, the chemistry. And if they really fucking like you and they're starting to fall in love with you, try cheat on them, bitch. Find out the hard way. I've never cheated in my life, okay? But trust me, do not test them. Don't test them. Don't cheat on them. Don't lie to them. Because you want to see a nuclear fucking bomb? It's Hiroshima. Okay? Don't do that. I notice that they're really loyal too. They can be. They're loyal if they really like you. If they feel like you ain't loyal to them, they ain't loyal to you. And because they're fire, the worst thing a woman can do is suffocate them. It's just the truth. Like, I'm air. The worst thing you can do is try to cage me. I can't be caged. I'm a peacock. You gotta let me fly. Fire signs are the same way too. They need that sort of sense of independence and freedom, or you kill their vibe. Bitch, don't kill my vibe. Bitch, don't kill. They don't want you to kill their vibe. You know, we talked about earlier, slow burn with them. They're the type where it'll slow burn, slow burn, slow burn, slow burns, and then boom. So sometimes they could be very unexpected, very sudden, very impulsive. They go by that feeling, right? It's a feeling. If it feels right, honey, they're gonna jump on it. But again, if they really, really like you and they're intimidated in some way, shape, or form, or they feel like you could reject them, they might be a little shy. It's very charming. It's a very charming energy. It's very youthful. They're kind of shy. You guys remember that song? He's so shy, that sweet little boy who caught my eye. They'll catch your eye. They'll catch your eye. They can smolder. You guys ever saw Bridgerton? You know how all the men in Bridgerton, they get jealous and they smolder? They always show like the scenes of them. That's them. That's them. Try to go talk about somebody else. Just talk about another man if they like you. Oh, but you're not going to hear from them. Because again, when they get really mad, especially if you're not in a relationship, if they get really mad at you, they'll go quiet. They're stewing. If you're in a relationship with them, you'll have words, but then also they do have the tendency to go quiet and silent. I mean, if you piss them off, you can really, really piss them off. But they're just, it's a double-edged sword. They're a great sign, but they could be difficult. It's you know what this is? If it flows, it's easier. If there are two signs that are not compatible, two people that it's someone's round, someone's square. You're trying to shove a fucking square in a round circle fucking thing, it ain't gonna work. It won't work. But if these two are compatible, and I've noticed with Aries men, the opposites attract. Because again, it's fun, it's mysterious, they can't really figure you out. They like to figure it out. They wanna know, they wanna, conquer this. They do like that. It could be very attractive opposites. They just don't like boring. Okay, we will get into this extended where I'll do an actual tarot spread. I will use the Sexual Tarot Magic deck. I can't use that deck here on YouTube, but I will do this. I'll put it on my Patreon. If you are not a member of my Patreon, go to the comment section below. I'm going to pin the link. This is really important though. You have the option to either purchase the video to watch it, just, that's it, or become a member of mine and pay that monthly fee. I don't care which it is. If you have an Apple iPhone, do not purchase either of those two things through your Apple iOS app, because Apple's going to charge you $4.50 more. Do it off the web browser on your phone or an iPad, laptop, computer, okay? Has to be through the browser or they will literally charge you $4.50 more. Don't ask me why, okay? It's not me, it's not Patreon, it's Apple. So you can watch a spread there. Also, I'm coming to Viva Las Vegas on March 11th, my lucky number 7 private VIP meet and greet. If you want to meet me there, I will have a link in one of the comments below. I'm so excited. It's going to be a total Vegas vibe. Vegas is one of my favorite places. So I'm excited to do my lucky number 7 there. I just had my number 6 in New York on 11/11. Also, follow me on my second vlog channel, Missy in Wonderland. I've got a lot of vlogs that I'm posting, travel vlogs, because I was traveling a hell of a lot during the fall and during Christmas time. So I am going to be posting more New York stuff. I'm going to post Salem, Boston, Newport, Rhode Island, and Washington, D.C. All right. But anyways, I will see you guys in the extended. Bye.